Man, I don't think I have shared these stories with anybody other than like close friends of my parents, so we're about to get real today, y'all. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaley Gray and I'm making weekly vlogs about my life, faith, and relationships. So be sure, if you have not subscribed, to hit that red button below and also follow me on my other social media. I would love to connect with you on my Instagram or Facebook or podcast. So yeah, be sure to subscribe and connect with me. All right, so we're gonna just do story time here, and trust me, once we get to the end, it will all make sense. So I just kind of was doing some reflecting, like looking back over my life, like why have doors closed with certain guys and certain things that have happened. And something that my mom and I have always done ever since I was young was just like praying, like, Lord, if this is not the guy for me, like you are gonna close that door. And let me just say that door has been like slammed in my face. It has been like abruptly shut. It's just like crazy. I think back in like, you know, the high school days where you have a crush on somebody and they probably like never even knew that I had a crush on them. And you know, it's like football Friday night and you know, on Monday you're gonna ask to like wear their jersey. And I was like, I finally got the courage after like, I don't know how many weeks in of like football season to ask to wear this guy's jersey, and then come to find out this girl already asked for it and he was crushing on her, she was crushing on him. And so then I was like, okay, well, that didn't work out. So that was like another like door closed. But I think back to college. Okay, there was a guy, this is so crazy. Like we hung out in groups like all the time. There was like a small group of us and we Skyped like pretty much every day, which yeah, that was like before FaceTime and like all that stuff. So we would Skype, and anyways, he had told me one time that he would only date me and one other girl on campus. And I'm like, who says that? Like, who even says that to somebody? But anyway, so he said that. So we had been talking like probably every day for a semester. I'm kind of getting to the point of like, okay, like what are we? Like, are we just friends, or like, are you thinking more than friends? And so we even like are Skyping and like talking over spring break. Well, we get back from spring break and I don't hear from him for like days, and I'm just like, this is kind of weird. Like, you know, we've been talking all the time, and come to find out he started dating a girl that didn't go to our school. And so I just was like, oh my gosh. And then like a few weeks later, like got this girl pregnant, which I'm not saying like God got this person, like got this girl pregnant, made him get this girl pregnant, but it was so uncharacteristic like of this guy. Like I was completely like, we were all shocked, like could not believe this happened. And so that was like another like door closed, because I had been kind of asking God for clarity. And so if you ask God for clarity, like be careful, because he's about to give it to you. And so that was like another thing. I also in college remember like having a crush on this guy and like finally like getting the courage to be like, hey, like maybe we should get together sometime. And we had been friends, like would talk and things like that. Well, then one evening, he like texted me, like we were texting, and he tells me like he finally like asked for this girl's number at a party, and like, which was uncharacteristic like of two for him to be like at a party. And then they ended up dating. And so that was like another one bites the dust. So didn't really date in college. There wasn't really anybody. Oh my goodness, just thought of this one. Man, they're all coming back to me. My roommate in college was dating this guy, and he had a brother, and they both didn't go to the same school that we went to, but they lived nearby. So we would go hang out with them. And so she was like totally trying to matchmake and like set us up and everything. And so we would hang out and like talk, and like I had fun talking to him. Like he was a nice guy. Well, then one night we go to his house. Like, they knew we were like coming over to hang out, and there's like a group of us, and we were in their basement, their parents' basement, hanging out. And this guy doesn't talk to me for an entire hour, just ignores me. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, what the heck is going on? So one of my other friends and I were like, we're leaving, like, we're not gonna hang around for this. So we get up and leave after an hour of being ignored, like not talked to. And so then as we're leaving, I'm walking to my car, getting ready to open up the door, and a piece of mud is thrown at me. I'm like talking like a huge mud clot, like thrown at me. And he threw it at me to get my attention. Didn't say anything, just like stood off in the distance, threw the mud. And I literally just like kind of looked at him, and then I like got in the car, didn't say anything, never talked to him again. I was literally like, who throws mud at somebody to get their attention? Like, oh my gosh, not this girl, like not gonna work. So yeah, just a lot of closed doors in college, I feel like. And then after college, man, there was a guy that I was like really interested in, to the point where I was like praying and fasting him, because I just was like, okay, God, like I really want to know like what we are. I took a week to not talk to this guy, not hang out with him, and just was like praying like what I felt like our future should be. And so I don't always hear audibly from God. Like, there's different ways to hear from him, and this is one of those times like I heard audibly from him, and the Lord told me that he was my counterfeit. And I was like, what? Are you sure, God? Like, he's a great guy. Like, he's a really great guy. Like, you think he's my counterfeit? So I looked up the definition of counterfeit, and it says made in the exact imitation of something valuable or important with the intention to deceive or defraud. And I just was like, okay, God, like if he's my counterfeit, then I know you have something amazing coming. Well, we go on to be friends and stuff like that. He had gotten engaged. So I was like, yeah, see, it was my counterfeit, like wasn't supposed to work out. Well, then he ended up getting unengaged. We were still friends. You know, talked occasionally, hung out, things like that. Then we started talking more, and I just was like, man, he's like been reaching out more. Like, what is this? I was like, you know, maybe God, maybe I didn't hear from you. Like, maybe he was my counterfeit at that time, but like, maybe it's not now. And so then I was kind of like second guessing myself. Like, did I just think that was a word from the Lord, or was that really a word from the Lord? Like, you know, where you're like kind of like second guessing yourself and like what's going on. And so found out he really is my counterfeit. Found out through social media like he had gotten engaged and married. So then I proceeded to block him from my social media, because I was like the other woman, because we were literally talking a month before he got engaged, and I had no idea he was even in a relationship. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have been talking to him on the phone that much. And so yeah, that was like God like truly showing me like that he was my counterfeit. And then I got closure like years later, like got to see him and his wife, and I just was like, yeah, no, you are not the guy for me. And thank you, God, for protecting my heart. And the reason that I'm saying all of this is because maybe you're like me. Maybe like door after door has just been closed. You just don't understand why. And let me tell you, like, not all of my stories have like been crazy like this. I mean, I did get ghosted too, so that was like another crazy story, which y'all have seen that vlog. So I really believe that God has somebody for me, and he has literally been protecting my heart. And that is something I can say to this day. I do not have a broken heart. And it's not that I haven't like tried to love or put myself out there, but it's because God has truly been protecting me. And so if you are like me, or maybe you've had like a door just like slam in front of you of something that didn't happen that you really wanted to happen, just know that God is a gentleman and he is gonna open up the right door for you at the right time. And I know that's like hard to hear because you're just like, I want it to happen now. But if he has protected your heart for this long, or maybe, you know, it has been broken, but you know, he's protecting it now, like just know that it's gonna be great. It's gonna be good. Just have that positive attitude. Don't be afraid to love. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there again, because God's timing is the right timing. And so maybe your stories aren't as crazy as mine. I hope they're not. I mean, mine might not even be that crazy compared to some people, but I am just truly so thankful that God confirmed like what he told me. And so it just shows you that like if you have an intimate relationship with God, like he is speaking to you and he is leading you and guiding you. So don't sway from what he has said. Don't think that what you heard wasn't right. If he has said that, then he is preparing you and pushing you forward to where you need to be. So I hope you guys have a great Friday, and I will see you all next week. Bye.